Let's take you north now to Queensland and to Kaiser Shields. She's in the electorate of Brisbane. Kaiser, the Greens there, we know they are fiercely defending what was a green slide, 3 victories at the last election.
Ash, the Greens' success in southeast Queensland was one of the biggest stories and surprises of the last election. They managed to pick up the key seats of Brisbane, Ryan and Griffith, and the big question is whether they can hold on to them this time around. There's very much a 3-way race between Labor, the Liberals and the Greens in all of these seats, and we know that as well because all 3 of those parties began their election campaign in Brisbane itself. Now, I'm currently at Windsor State School. It is in the electorate of Brisbane, which is held by the Greens on a 3.7% margin. The MP is Stephen Bates, who is hoping to be re-elected for his 2nd term, and he's been kind enough to join me this morning. Thank you so much for your time, Stephen. Have you done enough in the last 3 years in your first term as an MP and campaigned hard enough to hang on to this seat?
Yeah, I hope we have, but that's up to the people of the community to decide. But, the last 3 years we've spent so much time helping people directly. We've advocated for over 4,000 constituents directly, getting people out of their cars and into homes. We've served over 20,000 community meals across the electorate that I paid for by actually donating some of my salary to the community as well. We've been able to get $3 billion for social and affordable housing across the country. We've been able to put a hard cap on emissions and make sure no new public money is going to any fossil fuel projects across the country. So I think that, we have a really, really positive record to stand on, but there's so much more to do. We're still facing a climate crisis, we're still facing a housing crisis, and we're still facing a cost of living crisis. And people want to see action on that. And the only way we're going to get action on that is by keeping the Green seats here in Brisbane and by voting One Greens across the country. Because then we'll be able to get dental into Medicare, we'll be able to build public housing across the country, and we'll be able to stop new fossil fuel projects, which is all the things we know we need to do to make sure that this country has a prosperous and sustainable future.
This electorate really came down to the wire in 2022. I've had a look at the voting cards, and on yours you've got Labor as the 2nd one to vote for. Labor likewise has you as the 2nd one to vote for. How big of a role do you think preferences are going to play in this electorate when it comes to the final vote count?
It's a good question, but I think preferences play a huge role in almost every seat in the country. It's quite rare that MPs will win their seat by getting 50% plus 1 of the vote just by themselves. So I think it's always important that you're out there talking to people, even if people may not have your how to vote card in their hand, but you should still talk to them. You should still engage with them and see what people's issues are and whether or not you can find common ground with one another. But I think that, preferences will play a part in this electorate, as they will in countless electorates right around the country.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time this morning, Stephen. As you can hear there, Ash, the Greens are confident that they can hang on to this seat, but so too are Labor and the Liberals. And part of their confidence actually stems from the state election last year, when we saw some voters turn away from the Greens and put their votes elsewhere. Ultimately, it's going to be up to the people in those line behind me to decide who is going to best represent this electorate. In the meantime, there is a sausage sizzle here, a democracy sausage, and there's also a bake sale, so we'll go and check that out before we talk to you again next hour.
Yep, get into it, Kaiser. Thank you for that.